this story kills me because I am a big fan of Lucha Underground, but I think what is going on there isn't right. King Cuerno filed a lawsuit this week against Baba G Productions, the production company for Lucha Underground, and also against the El Rey Network, which airs Lucha Underground, regarding his 7-season contract that prevents him, he claims it prevents him from working for other companies in the U.S. at a time when the wrestling scene here is booming. Booming at least in terms of the opportunities that are out there for talent. According to Pro Wrestling Sheet, he is asking for arbitration. The suit notes that when he signed his deal with them in 2014, the wrestling landscape was very different than it is today. You know, today you've got WWE, you've got All Elite throwing around money, good money, to sign people. WWE just feels like they're stockpiling people for the sake of stockpiling them and taking them off the market and away from others. Ring of Honor, even, is offering better contracts now than they were 4 or 5 years ago. Impact stars, it says, the suit says, are also well paid. We'll take their word for it. They probably are. I mean, look, Chris Jericho made the comment a few weeks ago that he and Kenny Omega both came very, very close to signing with Impact. That's what he says. But, you know, he and Omega are very tight with Don Callis, so I can believe it. But that just means that if that was going to happen, clearly there's money, you know, in the coffers if Impact wants to throw some money around and sign a few big names, right? So even they seem to be sort of in the market for talent in a way that at one time they would not have been because they just didn't have the money for it. So anyway, the suit is alleging all of these things, and it says that most Lucha Underground contracts, and this blew my mind, are for less than $1,000 per episode. Obviously, some of the bigger names are getting a lot more than that. It says most wrestlers were making less than $4,000 per year, while those in other companies started at around $50,000. And bigger names can make 6 or 7 figures. Cuerno claims that he has lost out on thousands of dollars and that he lost a job opportunity due to his Lucha Underground contract. Now, that's probably a reference to WWE. WWE had interest in him a couple of years ago. He wanted to go. He tried desperately to get out of his contract, and they would not allow it. Now, there's actually a second suit that has been filed as well. This is a class action suit claiming that these contracts are illegal. And you've got names attached to the suit like Ivelisse, who has said publicly that she's basically being held hostage right now by Lucha Underground. And she absolutely would be either in WWE or NXT or AEW right now. And it sucks that she's on ice because of this whole situation, because Ivelisse is very good. And I don't doubt for a second that wherever she goes, she would get over and she would be a big star in the women's division in any company. And she has been on a block of ice for the longest time now, and it's got to suck. I mean, imagine how frustrating it must be. Things seem to be exploding. Everybody's getting all these offers and all these bookings and all these opportunities, and you never hear her name mentioned. And she's one of many, but you never hear her name mentioned, and she absolutely should be. Joey Ryan is another one who's part of this class action suit, apparently. Cobra Moon is another one. I think it is unbelievably shitty that these people are stuck in limbo like this, with no sense whatsoever that Lucha Underground is even coming back for a 5th season. Like, it's one thing if it was like a where and when, but there's been nothing. There has been radio silence. So this whole situation is awful. But I also look at it and go, what did you expect when you signed 7-season deals? You know what I mean? Like, what was the thought process that went into that? I mean, I guess the allure of this big TV show, I guess. But 7 seasons, I mean, that's a long contract that they willingly put their names on. I'm sure that's the case that they would probably make in court. You know, I still don't think they deserve to be held hostage like this. And if it's costing them money and there's no word on a 5th season, those contracts should not be enforceable. I hope they win. I don't know how these contracts are worded. I don't know what the language of the contract is. Lucha Underground is a television show. It is not a wrestling promotion per se, so that changes things a little bit. But like Brock Lesnar did with WWE many years ago when he challenged them in court and ended up settling out of court with them, if these people are considered independent contractors, and again, maybe that isn't the case here, because It's just a TV show, not a wrestling company. But if they are, you cannot deny them the opportunity to work. You cannot do that. In the meantime, the wheels of justice turn slowly. This is not going to be resolved in a matter of days or weeks. And they're still sitting there on the outside looking in at all these other people making all this money and getting all these opportunities. I mean, I've covered all 4 seasons of Lucha Underground on this podcast. I've been a big fan of theirs, even when a lot of you guys told me, you gave up after season 2. You gave up after season 3. Oh, season 4 is not as good. I heard a lot of that. I stuck with it, but this is horrendous. If they lose these people, plus the ones who have already left, I don't know that there's much of a roster left to have a show. And maybe they realize that, and that's why this is happening. At least give them some clarity. They deserve that much. Let them know, is there going to be a 5th season? You have to at least give them clarity on that.